The first time you dump a black tank, it's always the scariest. But once you're a seasoned pro, Cousin Eddie's methods make you cringe. Welcome to RV Out West. I'm your host, Brooks. My Family of Four's base camp is located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and our RV adventures radiate out from there. Please grab a mug of coffee and join us as we discuss RVing around the American West. From sweet camping spots, gear and equipment, to tips and tricks, we've got you covered. We are RV Out West. When we got our travel trailer, my wife openly admitted that she would never dump the black tank. And as long as I dumped the poo, she was cool with buying an RV. So I made that deal, and she has never dealt with anything poo slinky related ever. At first, I was a little apprehensive to deal with dumping the tanks and using the tank flush, but now it's just not a big deal. That said, I've only ever used tank toss-ins, those deodorizing smelling plastic wrapped blue bombs. Then I learned of a new kid on the block who was disrupting the status quo. To be honest, I've never used Matt's Liquified tank treatment. But when I need to replenish my current existing stash, I'm going to be making the switch. I've watched a handful of videos on Liquified, and the results have always impressed me. I will have those videos over in my show notes on my website at rvoutwest.com, so if you want to check them out, you can. Coming on the show is Matt, and we break down all you need to know about the best practices for taking care of your black tanks. But don't worry, we also talk about his favorite places he's camped. Plus, Matt tells us something he hasn't told anyone else, and he drops the news with us first. I know it's pretty late where you are right now, but Matt, I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us here on RV Out West.
It's the late night talk with Matt's RV reviews. First caller, where you calling from?
Exactly. Oh, we are in trouble if Matt's already riled up like this. This is good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So give me, if you wouldn't mind, share just a brief kind of personal biography introduction about yourself.
My name is Matt from the YouTube show Matt's RV Reviews. Born and raised in Bowie, Maryland. Grew up, was a career beer vendor. So I worked for the Orioles, Nationals, Redskins, Ravens, Eagles, Caps, hawking beer, slinging beers. Believe it or not, I made a living at it. I don't want to call it good money now looking back on it, but at the time it was good money. And back in like 2015, the market started changing. Attendance went down. Beer prices went up. Beer vendors went up. So I had to get a daytime job. So I started at a dealership called Leo's Vacation Center in Gambrills, Maryland, and started slinging RVs. And then once I was doing that, I started my YouTube show called Matt's RV Reviews, which I had 0 subscribers, and I grew it to 100, and then 1,000, and then 100,000, and now we're here a few years later at 250,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1 million on TikTok.
Well, I want to be upfront and frank with you. Stake in the ground. I'm going to talk a little beep. Dungeness crab is way better than blue crab, hands down.
Oh, yeah, so the podcast is about to end because you're about to kick me off. I don't do seafood at all.
Oh, that's fine. I'm fine with you not doing any seafood. The fact you have no opinion about blue crab is even better. I mean, I'm good with that.
But, I mean, I did hear blue crab is the best.
What? No. You're hearing that from the wrong people. They're giving you bad information. It's true.
Yeah, a whole bunch of Baltimoreans.
Yeah. I do love Fells Point, though. I love Fells Point. And that aquarium is amazing, by the way, in Baltimore. The Baltimore aquarium is dope.
Good aquarium.
Yeah. Well, okay. We covered up. We've already jumped in. We covered blue crabs. I didn't knock the capitals, and that's okay. We don't need to go there. Let's talk about your RVing. Why don't you tell me, so you started your Matt YouTube, but how did you get into RVing yourself?
Well, obviously being quote unquote RV YouTuber personality type, and I hate talking like that and saying that, but like in a salesman as well, you want to be able to live the life of the RVer. Back in the day when I was on the sales floor, I didn't own an RV. I couldn't really afford one. And, but we got to take out the pre-owned ones whenever we wanted. All the dealerships I've ever worked at always encouraged us to do that because the more you go camping, the more relatable you are with the customer. With that said, I started getting some, YouTube notoriety and everything. And I actually got a motorhome for free for 6 months, like a demo, right? And I
Sweet.
thought that was really cool, but believe it or not, the audience wasn't too like receptive about it. And nobody like straight up told me that they had an issue with it. But so many people were all like, why'd you get this brand of motorhome when your favorite brand of motorhome is this brand? And the reason why is because this brand cost money and this one was free, right? And it just felt really inauthentic. So back last year, maybe almost a year and a half ago now, probably about a year ago, Alliance came out with their first brand of travel trailers. And I got motorhome taste on a travel trailer budget.
Right.
And
All right.
so, yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Alliance and the ownership and everything. So when their first travel trailer was announced, I put in the very first order and I bought one of the first ones off the assembly line.
That is so cool, Matt. Did you go all the way out to Elkhart then to pick it up and bring it home? Or
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't pick it up from the dealership. Are you serious?
No, you drove out to Elkhart and got it yourself.
I did pick it up technically from our Wixom, Michigan store, and I did a PDI there, and I did a whole video, but I was in Elkhart at the time, and I got to see it when it first came off the line.
That is so cool. What fun. And then now you got to tell me, what kind of adventures have you taken it on? Where's been the highlight? Give me quick highlights, 3 highlights of some rad adventures you've taken it on.
Texas was pretty cool.
Texas is a big state, my friend. Got to drill down a little bit more.
To be honest with you, I don't know where I was. It was near San Antonio.
Okay.
And we went camping in this area, and we went river rafting or river tubing, something like that.
Okay, super cool.
Yep. Another place was Gatlinburg was kind of cool.
Okay.
That's when I realized that I needed a 3/4 ton truck instead of a 1/2 ton truck.
Yeah.
And then I love camping in Elkhart, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been out to the Indiana Dunes then? I know it's not quite Elkhart, but it's close.
No, I have not. And a lot of people tell me that. I got to hit the Indiana Dunes for sure.
I haven't been either. And I had plans to see it, but then things changed. And that was one of the things that kind of got cut for us. So we had to reroute. But you've had a lot of fun adventures in your RV.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, we hit the South Dakotas and the Mount Rushmore and all that, but that was in our other RV, not just this Alliance Delta. This Alliance Delta, you had 3 highlights was Texas, Tennessee, and Indiana.
And you did eat your body weight in barbecue while you were in Texas, right?
Nope. Texas barbecue doesn't do it for me. No, I'm more of a Memphis barbecue type of guy myself.
Okay. So you like the dry rubbed ribs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that too. I do love Texas brisket, though. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Buc-ee's is amazing.
But I hear you on the ribs. Memphis ribs, hands down, are my favorite place to ever get ribs. Just out of curiosity, have you ever made it out to the Pacific Northwest?
No. The highest I've gotten to is San Jose, California.
Let's dive into black tanks. This is why we're here. Let's talk about some tanks. I'm going to put you down as my tank expert here.
If anybody knows a thing or two about a stinky black tank, it's me.
So that is a hell of a statement. And what makes you the expert? Tell me why.
Well, my favorite food's Tijuana Flats, and I love to go camping.
You heard it first right there from my buddy Matt. Exactly. So we've established Matt as the expert now. As silly as this sounds, let's start on the basic, very basic of kind of how a black tank works. I understand it's a holding tank. It goes in, you wait, you dump.
So the black tank is what you poop in your RV. And believe it or not, when it comes to the actual chemistry of how black tanks work and enzymes and bacteria, I'm not an expert. And I tell people that, and we partner with Century Chemical, and they're the experts. They've been doing this for 97 years. And, we didn't just bottle up something in our bathtub and call it Liquified. We made sure we partnered with experts. But what the black tank is, it's your holding tank that you go poop in pretty much. And, once you're camping, once you're at a campsite, you fill it up and then you dump it out. I honestly don't know what else more to say.
That's right. Right. I mean, I understand the basics of how a black tank works. I didn't know if there's
poop in.
Yeah, it's a tank you poop in, and you open the valve, and you hope you wear gloves, and it goes right and goes down the drain. How much water? I've read different things about in the beginning, but when you arrive to a campsite at that night, I'm a weekender. I'm not a full-timer. So when my RV is sitting in storage, I don't have water in the tank.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. I don't know.
Nope.
But in the Northwest, it doesn't, we're a pretty mild, temperate climate. Yes, we get down to freezing sometimes in January, February. It's not like we're in Michigan or in other places in the Midwest where it gets down super cold. But either way, when I winterize, I go ahead and drain my tanks. But in a non-winterizing situation, when I'm out camping, I roll in and I'm doing my camp setup and getting things situated. How much water do you think one should add? Is there a percentage or whatever that you think?
I mean, the rule of thumb is 5 gallons. You don't need to add any water. Minimum you should be doing is a gallon or 2. Obviously, it depends on your tank sizes. But here's the rule of thumb. So there's a lot of debate about who has the best toilet treatment. Should you even be using toilet treatment? Should you use the pine and salt Calgon method? Is the drop-in sufficient? Should you buy a specialty product? There's so many different debates. The one thing that's always true is the more water you can use, the better. At the end of the day, pine sol and Calgon, liquefied and enzyme and bacteria-based toilet treatments, and even the cheap chemicals, it's not a magic potion that you throw down your holding tank. It needs to mix with the water, and your waste needs to stay submerged under that water, because if you get the dreaded poo pyramid, that's when you get the fumes, and then you turn that fan on and it just sucks out and you smell everything that you ate the night before in your RV.
Yeah. Okay. I've been lucky because I'm a little bit of a freak with my tank. So I have not yet experienced a poo pyramid, mostly because I assume that my children and my wife don't add enough water to the tank. So I always add extra water. Even if I'm just going pee, I add a lot of water to it because I'm just there. So I just do that.
Oh, yeah. More water, the merrier.
Yes. More water, the merrier. I love it. But what is something one should never put in their black tank?
Bleach or anything like that. Anything that's going to kill the bacteria. You shouldn't put paper towels or anything like that. Anything that can get
clogged. I get like solids.
The big things like bleach or like hand soaps or any antibacterial, you really don't want to put in there, because the bacteria, the enzymes in the bacteria is good, and that's what helps eat at your waste and, liquefy it.
Yep. All right. So no bleaches. Nope. All right. Got it.
And you got to be careful when you're cleaning your toilet as well, not to clean your toilet with bleach, so it doesn't affect what's going on in there.
Yeah, we mostly just use the Clorox wipes for like the seats and things of that nature. We try not to. I want to talk about the famed ice thing I've seen on the internet. I have never added ice to my black tank on a travel day or any of that stuff.
Yep.
What's your take on the whole add ice to your black tank? Because it'll help break down solids on travel days, and then you just flush it.
Yeah, so I've never tested it out. We have a tank and sensor cleaner. It's called Liquified Tank and Sensor Cleaner, real original name. But we partnered with ATC, and that company is called America's Technology Components. They are the creators of 99.9% of all the tank sensors in an RV, from the cheaper probes to the higher end sensors. They 100% don't recommend putting ice in. And they say that the ice scraping the side is all a myth. So with that said, I haven't tested it myself.
It sounds fishy. So let's do a little bit of dive now into Liquified.
Yeah.
And more importantly, what I'm really interested in is your why. Like, why did you want to start this? Where did you see a problem that you think you could solve differently than any of the other products that are out there on the market? What, I'm a big fan of Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tips.
Yeah.
His video was fantastic. And I was like, that looks dope. Why did you want to get into the poop business?
Let's take a step back. I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
And I found out that Matt's RV Reviews isn't a real business at all. It's a sole proprietorship. It's a really good job. The second I stop filming is the second that everybody loses their jobs, right? So I had to create actual business like a McDonald's that's running 24/7. The owner doesn't need to be there. It's its own life. And so at first I thought of the idea of surge protectors because I found the manufacturer who creates the Hughes automotive surge protectors. And I think Hughes is one of the best surge protectors out there. So I'm all like, hey, let me do what everybody does in the RV industry and just put my name on it and knock it off. So long story short, the cost of that, I got a quote and everything, it was going to be like $1 million. And believe it or not, I don't have $1 million.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. You don't?
No, not at all.
Oh, man,
so
bummer.
With that said, I did have somebody tell me that they would give it to me, but that's just way too much pressure. I'm not going to do all that. And then not only that, what do I know about surge protectors? And that's really the come to Jesus moment I had. What do I know? And I'm like, dude, I don't know anything. If JD from Big Truck, Big RV put his name on a surge protector, he'd sell a crap ton, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, man, what is my thing? What is my competitive advantage? And then I'm like, toilets. I sit on the toilet and I test to see if it's a prime pooping position. That is my quote unquote claim to fame.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I wish I could sell toilets. And I'm like, man, how are you going to sell a toilet? Where do you even buy a toilet? Right. And then I was just like, and then I had the idea of toilet treatment. And so then I dove down a rabbit hole about good toilet treatments and bad toilet treatments, specialty toilet treatments. I found a few manufacturers that actually do what's called private labeling for toilet treatments. And I tested 15 of the best toilet treatments in the industry. And I was going to take the formula back to the manufacturer and say, hey, this is what I want. I want something that's going to completely liquefy the waste. Coincidentally, they actually were the creators of the best product that actually liquefied the waste. They didn't have to reverse engineer anything. It was pretty easy. We came up with our own scent, which was orange. And I told them I wanted to put it in a Beatix bottle, which had a 1 ounce pre-measuring spout. Almost 2 years later, we've sold, 150,000 bottles of poop juice.
I'm also going to add, Matt, to your claim to fame. I have already started to scam you. I know it's a year later, so I want an update on that. But,
Yep.
They always say, right, the greatest form of flattery is scamming. Well, I mean, no, It's mimicking, but it's scamming.
Yeah, no, somebody in China ripped off Liquified. They probably got 100 bottles out.
But so what's your update on that? Like, I mean, did you catch them, shut them down? You throw the pig band at them?
We killed them.
Yeah, nice.
No, what happened was we were very fortunate in our approach to Amazon, in our approach to Liquified, and we were able to turn something on called brand registry. But brand registry, what it is nobody in the world's allowed to sell Liquified on the internet anymore except us. So this is actually really favorable. And I got a big announcement that we'll do exclusively on this podcast because I haven't told anybody else.
What? Drop it.
Yeah, no, not yet. I will in a second.
Okay,
but
it's exciting.
Yeah, so we started signing up dealerships and campgrounds to sell Liquified. And one of their biggest complaints is that the customer can always find Liquified or a product on Amazon cheaper. Sometimes it's selling on Amazon cheaper than what the dealership buys it for from the supplier or whatever. So all these dealerships and campgrounds are always combating Amazon prices. And so what's beautiful about brand registry, none of our partners can even sell it on Amazon. We're the only ones that sell it on Amazon, and we price protect. And we make sure that we only discount our product on like Amazon Prime Day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But other than that, we don't discount our product, and we price protect it, which has been really attractive to a lot of big retailers. And you ready for this, Brooks?
Yeah. Tell me. Oh, I got a drum roll.
Spring of 2025, we will be in 1,631 Walmarts.
That is fantastic.
Yes,
First
sir.
off, congratulations. That's
Thank
huge.
you.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. Anybody can just pick one up and go and dump it in their tank. Spring it. Okay, can you narrow? You've teased me now. Can you narrow it down to a month?
No, I cannot. No, I don't know. I think it would be March. I think it
Doesn't matter. Camping
Yep.
season 2025. You're going to be able to get Liquified at Walmart's. Let's pause here and hear a word from our friend over at Camper Alerts. The seasons may have changed, but that doesn't make it any easier to find available campsites. Now, you can get notified of sold-out campsites when they become available with Camper Alerts. Choose your campground, pick your RV-specific filters, and set an alert. It's that simple. Visit camperalerts.com today and start setting your alerts. Without sharing your proprietary information, what makes Matt's liquefied solution so much better or works differently than any of your competitors?
all my competitors listening, it's Proteases, Lapalays, Another Lays, and Frito-Lays. And there's no Frito-Lays. But there's 4 key bacteria and enzymes that we use. I made a video with Pat from Century Chemical, and we break it down. It really is that simple. The problem is there's this company, and they used to be very, very good, and people loved them, and they stocked it everywhere. And then they sold to another company, and now they don't sell as well. But it's also cheaper because they've taken out a lot of the enzymes and the bacteria, and all it is a deodorizer now just to make more margin. You know, we had a very simple business strategy with Liquified. We don't care about the price. All we care about the quality. You know, if I'm going to put my name on something, the Matt's RV Reviews name, I want it to be the absolute highest quality. And if you go on Amazon, you'll see we are one of the most expensive toilet treatments per capita out there. But at the same time, you also don't need to use as much. And we're not that much more. And to get a really good product for, you know, a couple bucks more than the competition, it's 100% worth it.
When I looked online, your average, the bottle of tank treatment is, lack of better words, we'll call it $20, right?
$24.99.
$25.
Yeah.
And it's a 1 ounce pour to go into a tank for an average, like 30-gallon, typical 26-foot or greater tank.
Yeah. So it
6 foot.
comes out to 78 cents per treatment. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
Now, with that said, you sometimes we're changing our wording to 1 to 2 ounces. Okay. Sorry to interrupt as well.
no, you're fine. You're great.
The reason why is because if you're up in your neck of the woods, all you need 1 ounce and you're good, right?
Yeah.
If you have a little bit of that Texas brisket you're talking about, you might need 2 ounces.
Right.
But if you're in Texas or Florida, especially in the summer, you definitely need 2 ounces. So we are working on it. But even still, I mean, it
But
goes.
so it's $1.60, $2. Math is a
Oh, not even $2. Yeah. 78 cents. Call it $1.30 per treatment.
Yeah. I mean, that's great.
Not to smell poop, I'd give you $1.25.
Yeah, and have it be like, I like hints of orange, citrus. I mean, sign me up. It's like a screwdriver for your toilet. I mean, it's great. Yeah, you know, it's fine. Now, and I don't know if we need to go into it, but the whole surfactant Pine Sol with
Pine Sol and Calgon.
Calgon beads and all that craziness.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Just break it down for me, like you break down other tanks.
The company Clean Tank, they promote Pine Sol and Calgon. They come from the school of black tank is a holding tank, not a septic tank, which we all agree with. And they're saying that you shouldn't be putting any enzyme or bacteria in your tank to break down the waste. And the quote surfactant is what lubricates the tank from the inside to where it glides out easier. Ross from RV Tips and Tricks did an amazing video comparing Liquified versus Pine Sol and Calgon.
And I've watched it, and I will link to it in the show notes because it was a fantastic video.
Yeah, it was a crazy video, and you really get to see a side-by-side comparison on what's fact and what's fiction. Here's what I do like to say. If anybody, when I meet people at a show and they talk to me about Pine Sol and Calgon, the first question I say is, are you happy using it? Are you happy making it? Are you happy concocting it, taking an empty 1 gallon jug and pouring 3/4 of this and that and, being a chemist in your own kitchen? Are you happy doing that? If somebody says, yep, I love it and I enjoy it, I say, great, continue to do it, use it. Don't even try Liquified. If it's not broke, don't fix it. If you figured something out that works for you, be my guest. Now, with that said, if you don't like making your own concoction, or you don't like using Pine Sol or Calgons, or pouring, squeezing stuff and shaking it, and all you want to do is take a 32-ounce bottle, squeeze 1 ounce and pour it in your black tank, absolutely give Liquified a try. Oh, this is what I like to tell everybody. It's the reason why you got to watch Ross's video, or you can watch anybody's video. It doesn't matter. The tank cleaning people, they make money when you clean your tanks. They make money once you buy the Calgon beads, right? So they have a biased opinion. I make money when you buy Liquified. I have a biased opinion.
Right.
My opinion on the matter doesn't matter. Their opinion on the matter doesn't matter. That's why I love Ross with what he did. He did such an amazing job, and he didn't have a dog in the fight. Even after watching that video, if you still like to use Pine Sol and Calgon, be my guest.
It was pretty scientific, too. I mean, he was very much kind of a scientist and saying, I'm using this many squares of RV toilet paper and this many. I mean, he really was a scientist when it came to that. It was pretty cool. I watched your video with your buddy Will.
Yep.
And you guys had talked about a deep tank clean. Now, that is something I have never thought of. I didn't even know was on the market. I didn't know that was anything I really needed to do. And Will was like, oh, yeah, you should do this yearly. I've had my trailer now 3 years. I've never done it. Talk me through that. Is that something like I should hire out and do? Is that something I can do myself? What's the deal? Tell me about it.
See, that's what's so funny. And I don't understand. Clean Tank Guy has like a real big problem with me. But it's just like, bro, we encourage everybody to get their tanks cleaned annually. And if you're a full-timer, every 6 months. At the end of the day, as good Pine Sol and Calgon is, as good as Liquified is, as good as Unique is, I mean, there's still a whole bunch of crap built up around the side of your toilet or your black tank. So we definitely recommend a tank cleaning company. And we actually just partnered with Tank Rangers. And Tank Rangers is a nationwide network of RV tank treatment people. What's so crazy about them is they were taught on the way of Pine Sol Calgon. The owner of it, Gabe. So the Liquified bandwagon was coming out, and Gabe had two options. Gabe could have, done what Clean Tank did and just, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, but he didn't do that. He tried it out himself, being a professional tank cleaner. And he found out, and he was educated, that Liquified ended up working better than Pine Sol Calgon. And so now his whole company uses Liquified. We're proud to be partners with them. And even if you don't use Liquified, just an enzyme and bacteria-based toilet treatment is the way to go.
Okay. Question. I had a guest ask me, and since I have you on the show, I'm going to ask you. Their question is, I've always wondered what to do with the tanks when you are in between trips, say 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely situational.
Yep.
Me personally, I would put water in and throw some liquefied down the toilet. You know, even when you empty your tank, it's never fully clean.
Right.
And so you come back with an empty tank and there's no water or nothing, you're gonna get hit with a dry, musty, poopy smell.
Dope. Okay, we heard it first now from our good friend Matt. That's very great. Well, hey, we are kind of wrapping up right now, so I just want to ask you, is there something that I didn't ask you that we should talk about that we didn't cover?
We didn't talk about religion, politics, or the economic status of America.
Okay. Well, let's cover
I'm
that
just
really
kidding.
quick.
I'm
Are
just
you,
kidding.
are you,
I don't do
Nope.
any of that.
no,
I'll just
you're not
ask-
doing that? Who are you voting for?
No,
Why?
none of the above.
Nope. None of the above? Okay, okay.
No, I vote for Matt's RV reviews. That's who I.
Matt's RV reviews first and
President.
foremost.
Yeah.
All right. Matt likes things orange, so he recommends Liquified.
Right. The Democrats are blue, the Republicans are red, and the Matt's RV reviews is orange.
Orange. There we go. We got it covered.
go.
Blue, red, and orange. All right. We know where Matt stands, stake in the ground. Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining us on the show. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for taking
it's a
time
lot of
out of your
fun.
busy day. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm asking you to reach out to a friend or family member and share it with them. Thank you again for listening to RV Out West. I sincerely appreciate it. You can join in on the conversation online. Give us a follow over on Facebook and Instagram. In next week's episode, we have a great conversation with Washington State University President Kirk and his wife Noel as we talk all about RVing around Spokane and northern Idaho. They share some great locations and wonderful stories. I'm excited for you to hear what they have to say, so tune in next week. Thanks so much for listening to RV Out West. Join us again next week. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you choose to get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. I sure would appreciate it if you left a rating or a review of the show. Special thanks to Scott Holmes Music for providing us the intro song, We Are One. RV Out West can be found on Instagram and Facebook, where you can interact with us and follow along on our RV adventures around the Pacific Northwest. So get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon.